So, give it up for Courtney. Here we go.
So, those were all true. Those were all said to me many times. Especially the one about the ring. I've gotten that since it came out. I think it makes more sense when I have my longer hair, so just wait 2 years, I'll be crawling under your TV. I mean, you're really scary. Also, I think we can see over the podium, so hopefully you can see me. Alright, so I'm going to read a piece that I workshopped recently. So it's a work in progress, and by work in progress, I mean that I finished this part this afternoon. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just wing it. Alright, so it doesn't have a title yet, so that's how under construction it is. Each valley of his ribs feels like I'm dipping my fingers in quicksand, and I want to sink them deeper as perspiration bubbles from beneath skin. Puffed lips hover over his, threatening to steal his breath, as if the soul exists and I'm taking his into me. As I train fingertips for my tongue along his ridges, he presses down on my waist. Lucky for him, I speak body language. Unlucky for him, I don't acknowledge his requests, fixated on my own doings. I just need to, he says, but I cut him off, pressing my lips hard against his. He lifts my body up, unzipping his jeans and sliding them past his ankles faster than I've seen before. He sighs in relief, heavy, like when the person next to you is drafted for the most unpleasant of tasks. Forfeiting my territory, I grip the waistband of his boxer briefs between my teeth and pull. Slowly. He wants to rush it, motioning with his hands, but I don't let him. I don't let him ruin the moment. I wait for it, and it comes. As the day changes into the next, I turn onto my driveway that leads to a split-level home. It's dark inside, but I don't turn on a light. I know this house well enough to navigate my way from the foyer to the kitchen for a quick handful of grapes, and up the stairs to the bathroom. I close the door with an acquired silence, flick on a dimmed light, and allow my eyes to adjust. Late-night showers are to die for. Better than any bedroom trick I've read in Cosmo or improvised with another body behind mine. As I close my eyes, I turn toward the stream, letting water flow down my breasts, rippling across my own ridges to my thighs. My muscles loosen in its comfort. The water rids me of its traces, and I'm clean again, untouched and untainted. I ready myself to go to sleep, and by now it's 1 a.m. I like to read before turning in, but I know I shouldn't do that this time, not tonight at least. The bedroom is as familiar to me as the rest of the house, and I don't turn on my bedside lamp. Instead, I climb onto the right side of the bed and pull a comforter over my body. Satin cloth rubbing against me, leaving a chill that contrasts freshly washed skin. I turn to my left. The last thing I see through the darkness of the room is my husband. Some people need coffee in the morning. An extra large mocha latte with 2 shots of espresso, a hold of whipped cream. Now that would be too many calories. They need it to waken their minds and prepare them for the world, but they aren't tea drinkers. Not enough caffeine, yet they're still not fully awake. I'm not one of these people. I despise the bitter taste that lingers on your tongue and the coffee breath. Oh, I hate coffee breath. I walk over to the corkboard that's mounted on the wall beside the fridge. It's tucked into the corner of the room like a pile of dirty laundry after the hamper is full. There's a small whiteboard I had bought from Staples because it had been on sale this summer before I started college. I never used it once during those 4 years. I wasn't as organized as I had intended to be, but half a decade later, it finally came in handy. A blue marker is clipped atop the board, and I take it down in a cabinet. I think for a good 10 seconds before writing, Andy something, meant leaving the office, no dinner, at his place last night, nothing weird. I hear Kurt drag his feet across the kitchen floor toward the Keurig. His eyes are half closed and flannel pants twisted at the waist. "You're up early," he says. He turns on the machine and drops in a K-cup, then sets down a mug. The Keurig makes a clogged drain bubbling over sound and spews liquid into the cup. As he waits for it to fill, he takes out the waffles waiting for him in the toaster oven and puts them on a light blue melamine plate with printed daisies. Part of a housewarming gift sent from his mother, who began to hate everything about me once Kurt and I established our arrangement. The sun decided to see me. Forgot to close those blinds? I asked. I moved to the sink to clear some dishes. He comes over and kisses my cheek. Coffee breath. Sorry, honey, I crashed after the game. It was a sad night. I don't know why it's so hard to just hit the damn ball. I smile and kiss him, bearing through the bitterness. Maybe the sun was in their eyes. Kurt wraps his arm around me and laughs as he tucks in the tip of his nose into the crook of my neck. It was a night game, sweetheart. He puts his lips on my neck, his stubble tickling me, and I laugh as I always do. I can't get used to that prickly feeling, though it's been there since we met and made for an uncomfortable yet strangely satisfying first kiss when we hiked up the cliffs that overlooked Englewood. Kurt retreats and tends to his waffles. I'm going to go for my run, I say, as I head upstairs to change. He nods. Waffle in hand, he steps over to the corkboard, nods again, takes the eraser that's hanging from a thread thumbtack, and makes the event from the night before disappear. 2 days pass and Kurt is stroking my hair as he flips through Sports Illustrated, hovering over photoshopped images, eyebrows curling to either confirm the airbrush quality or to ingrain them into his brain for later use. I'm lying on Kurt's bare chest, reading a novel about accidental murder and hookers. It's not all that good, but a friend recommended it to me, and I want something to talk about during our next brunch, although it'll mostly sound a lot like, did you love it? Tell me you loved it. Not really. It's kind of illogical. I mean, the hooker jumps out the window to get away from the creepy dude, but I'm pretty sure there had to have been a better way out, like a front door or something. Liz. No, you don't understand. The window would have been faster. Faster, maybe. Damaging to one's bones? Duh. My phone buzzes and shakes on the nightstand. I reach for it. It's a 201 area code, but a number I don't recognize. I open a text message. Hey baby, thinking about you, ... I hate when people end sentences with 2 dots. Not a period, not yet an ellipsis. I realize it's probably Andy something and put the phone back on the table. He misses you, huh? Asked Kurt, still distracted by the model on page 57. I suppose. That sucks. For him, I mean. I let the conversation fall, but he picks it back up. It's been a while for us, he says, as he finally puts the magazine down. Not too long, I reply, without tearing my eyes from the mash of words. He frowns for a second. But that means I'm not your last one. It's never bothered you before. It hasn't, and it doesn't. I'm just saying. He places his palms on the small of my back, squeezes gently, kisses my shoulder. Just saying. I stick an index card into the book and close it, placing it on the nightstand beside my phone that's blinking with another message waiting. Then I face Kurt and touch my lips to his chest where my head rested a moment prior. Good. Rule number 4. Don't forget. Kurt is apt to forget, or maybe disregard the 4th rule. My guess is because he thinks I'm apt to pretend the first doesn't exist. But we both know that we both know these rules better than we know each other. We made them up together before our wedding day. As a newly engaged couple, we were congratulated by family and friends in the most typical of fashion with gifts and hugs and 2 cheek kisses. And of course, can you imagine only being with Kurt for the rest of your life? Do you really want to only sleep with Liz from now on? The word only carried itself like a warning. You better not get married or face the consequences. My stomach sank at this familiar threat. Kurt and I had talked about this several times before even being engaged, before we were told of only. It was the obvious hurdle. Neither of us were the most committed individuals, usually reaching for something seemingly better after getting what we had initially wanted. In fact, this is what drew us together in the first place, the search for someone better than the person we were with. Our engagement party ended before midnight, but some guests mingled until 2. Kurt and I didn't step into our apartment until 4, and we didn't fall asleep right away or feel what it was like to start forever with only each other. We lay on our sides and the blanket spread underneath us. I propped up my head with the heel of my hand and stared at the man across the bed. He seemed like a memory. I think I can recall perfectly, but have probably changed over time to make it more dramatic. Kurt adjusted his posture, making the mattress springs creak. Are you happy? He asked. I nodded out of reflex. Nervous, I said. Me too. There was a heavy pause until he said, you know, Dominic and Trinity made this deal when they first got married. It alleviated their anxieties. It was suggested to them by the counselor. I nodded again. Dominic was Kurt's college roommate, and they stayed in touch since graduation, seeing each other for major holidays and celebrations. I remember. Are you suggesting it'll work for us? Maybe in the beginning, so we don't feel anchored. We can try it for the first year and see where we are then. I want us to be there for each other, not to be tied down. I don't want us to feel trapped. It's marriage, not prison. I smiled. Kurt always had our best interests in mind. I said, we'll only use it as a safety. Maybe not at all, but it can be there just in case. He reached for my hand and caressed the back of it with his thumb. Of course. Anything to ease our minds. You sure it worked for them? Dominic told me himself. Leaning over the bed, I pulled out a pad of paper and a black ink pen from the drawer. Rule number 1. With other people, it can only be physical. No dates, no relationships, no emotional investment. And he nodded, his hand still in mine. I feel naked, lost. I left my phone at home this morning, so my entire day consisted of me stuffing my hands into my pockets in hopes of finding a life-supporting device I already knew wasn't there. I'm probably sitting on the kitchen counter and explaining to every pissed-off coworker that no, I wasn't ignoring her. As soon as I got into the house, I expect to see my phone blinking, but it's not there. I scoured the surrounding area, the floor, the table, even the fridge. With a huff, I shake out the contents of my handbag, tubes of lipstick, month-old receipts, and half-eaten, partially melted candy bars topple onto the countertop. No phone. Kurt, I call into the air. He usually gets home before me, and I had seen his car in the drive as I pulled in. Kurt, have you seen my phone? No answer. I trudge up the stairs in the bedroom, along the way spotting the bathroom door closed. I roll my eyes. The bed isn't made, and one of the pillows is tipped over the corner of the mattress. Peeking from underneath the pillow, resting on the nightstand, and of course blinking as expected, is my cell. I scroll through 8 missed calls, 6 of them which are from the same chick who thought I didn't care about the coffee machine jam, 4 missed text messages also about the copier. Among the bundle was a text from Andy something, though it wasn't marked unread. I'm sorry if I seemed too upfront earlier. I had a nice time with you that night. I hope we can get together again after work. Sent at 12:54 p.m. I remember seeing him just before the parking lot as I left the office. He waved, cigarette between his fingers. I smiled and lifted my hand quickly. He seemed to step toward me, but I continued to my car, careful to not pretend like I wanted to talk to him. He knows of the arrangement as well. The bathroom door opened and steam escaped with Kurt in tow. Hey honey, how's work? He asked. I bit my lip, my back still facing the doorway to the bedroom. He walked up behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist. Tough day? I clutched the phone in my hand, tighter now. Liz? I left my phone at home. I'm sorry, if I knew I would have come back and driven it over to you. He kissed the top of my head. But you didn't.